catalog business to Asia. This was promising because it had a net present value of 1.57, an IRR of 19.77%, and a PI of 2.85. In addition, I chose this project because I just think it's important to invest in Asia because you would be opening up a whole other market for the company. And it says that the expenditures for the concept testing were 3 times higher than projected. However, revenues were likewise much higher than expected, so therefore it evened out. The retail store expansion in the Northeast. This retail project has a net present value of 5.49, 49.65% internal rate of return, and an approximate 5-year payback period, which is an acceptable project. It said it generated more revenue than expected and was profitable right away, so therefore it was a good investment. For the Match My Doll clothing line expansion concept, the net present value was 8.31. It had an IRR of 26.72%, a payback period of around 7 years, which isn't the best, but the profitability index was promising at 2.5 or 2.75. The expansion of the clothing line benefited the strong performance of the initial Match My Doll line and outformed projections. In 2012, I invested in these 4 projects: the Toddler Music CD series, the Bookstore Cafe Writers Club, the Virtual Doll Community, and the expansion to England. With the Toddler's Music CD series, it was a licensing project with a net present value of 6.97, a payback period of a little over 2 years, and a profitability index of 2323. The internal rate of return was sitting out at an outstanding 104.99%. So that investment was very attractive to me, and it says here that the initial revenues from the CDs were twice as large as anticipated. With the Bookstore Cafe Writers Club, it had a 6.71 NPV, an IRR of 48.9%, and a profitability index of 3.42. The payback period was 4.4 years. This project has potential, and they were somewhat higher. The initial revenues were somewhat higher than expected, but that was offset by a lower gross margin, resulting in a somewhat different product mix than anticipated. So it was not the best project I could have invested in. With the Virtual Doll Community, I found this project a very attractive investment because it had a net present value of 6.89, a payback period of a little over 2 years, an IRR of a whopping 402.58%, and a PI at 306.10. It seems like a really good project, but initially, I guess the development costs were 3 times higher than budgeted, and revenues were significantly lower, but nevertheless, it was profitable. Expansion to England. Although this project had a low net present value and a higher payback period, this project is attractive because it could potentially boost the company's market in England. The IRR is at 18.2%, and the profitability index is at 1.17, which are both acceptable. It says here that the boutique sales were stronger than expected due to the success of Dolls of the World in Europe. And then in 2013, I invested in 5 projects: the cable TV program, the Young Authors book series, the coupon promotion frequent shopper campaign, EDI supplier software, and replace the assembly equipment at this Sacramento facility. For the TV cable program, this licensing project seemed promising. It had a net present value of 3.52, 33.65% IRR, a 4.7 PI, and about a 6 year period, it says that revenues were slightly higher than expected, but the production costs exceeded expectations, so it left us with a low operating margin, so it wasn't the best project to invest in. With the Young Authors Book series, this investment had great potential. It had a net present value of 8.15, an IRR of 97.95, and a profitability index of 21.52, and a payback period of 2 years. It said that they were immediately a success, so both the revenue and profits exceeded expectations. With the coupon promotion frequent shopper campaign, it was an attractive investment because often with great coupon promotions, companies can attract a great market that wouldn't normally buy from them, as well as frequent customers. This increases revenue. In addition, this project had a net present value of 6.04, an IRR of 25.60%, a PI of 3.11, which are all acceptable. And it says that it was effective but somewhat short of the retail revenue targets. With the ID supplier software, the project had a net present value of 0.05, an IRR of 40.76%, a PI of 1.68, a payback period of 3.5 years. Even though the net present value number isn't exactly acceptable because it is under or is less than 1, this project is attractive because it makes inventory easier and improves the company's relationships with suppliers. With the replacing assembly line equipment at the Sacramento facility, this project had an IRR of 38.64%, a payback period of 3 years-ish. These numbers are acceptable. I chose this project because it would help decrease the cost of goods sold by lowering the incidence of quality defects in the assembly process for 2 of the company's largest product lines. And that is how I reached my APV of 542.2. Thank you for watching this video. Good night.